talk to you about next day campaigns after events. So let's say we're having a webinar, right? So I'm going to create a campaign, and this is going to be my webinar confirmation and reminder campaign. So I am going to say that my webinar is going to be next Saturday at whatever, 4:35 p.m. Let's just make it a round number, 4 o'clock. Okay? So now I can use before timing in my campaign that will be relative to next Saturday. So that means I can do the following. So first I'll make a confirmation email, right? So you are registered. Okay, blah, 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 great. And I want that to go out immediately. So when somebody, let's say, clicks a trigger link or they fill out a form to reserve for this event or register for this event, I'm going to add them to this campaign. So the first thing that they're going to get right away is an email saying, hey, you're registered. We'll remind you leading up to the event. And then I can add my reminders. So let's say I want to send an email, and again, this could be a text. So like event starts in 24 hours. And then, blah, 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 the event's coming up, don't forget. And now I can make my timing before 1 day, or I could do 24 hours if I wanted to. So again, before timing references whatever's in the event start date. So 1 day before January 16th, January 15th, because it's 24 hours, at 4 p.m. on January 15th, this email will fire off. And then I can continue that, right? So I can add, let's say I wanted to add an SMS, event starts in 5 minutes. And I make this one before 5 minutes. Okay, so now I have, people are going to be getting reminders leading up to my event. Now, we've seen questions like, okay, well, the next day after the event, I want to do some follow-up stuff. So you can do it two ways. You can continue it right here in this same campaign if you wanted to by just doing the math. So we could say, all right, this is going out 5 minutes before the event, which means it's going to go at January 15th at 3:55. So I want, some sort of follow-up email to go out the next day. So I could do, maybe I want it to go out the next morning, right? So this one here is going out at what we said, 3:55. So 12 hours later would be 3 in the morning. So let's do, if we did 24 hours later, right? If we did after 24 hours, it would go out at 3:55 on the 17th. So I can just keep doing that and use after timing from here. Or I could come up here and just make a second campaign, right? So I would have to publish this one first, and then I could go back to campaigns, create a campaign that is webinar follow-up. Right, and then I could add some events in here. So, follow-up 1, whatever that's going to be, save, publish, and now I can go back to my webinar reminder campaign, and in my configuration, I can use the next campaign field to push them into my webinar follow-up. So this means that after everyone goes through and gets all of these, they're going to get pushed over into that next campaign. So a couple of things to think about from here. Number one, we always want to, if you're using reminder campaigns, to make sure you turn off stop on response. We don't want this campaign stopping. We want to make sure everybody gets all the reminders and flows all the way through, and then they'll flow into our next campaign. We then want to be conscious of what time people are going to be getting into that next campaign. So again, this is going out 5 minutes before our event. So on January 16th at 3:55 p.m., they're going to get pushed into our second campaign. This is our follow-up. So we probably want to make this one after at least a day because we want whatever it is our follow-up is going to be starting the next day, right? So they're going to flow in here at 3:55 right before the event, and we don't want to be sending to them then. We want to wait a day or however many hours later. So we would change this to, wait 1 day, and then it would be the following day. We can also control the day of the week and the time that they enter this. So we could set it up here if we wanted to, instead of using, doing the math here. We could come up and we could say, okay, they're going to hit this campaign at, we know, 3:55, but let's say we want to force them to wait until the next morning, right? We could do that, and maybe we only want it to happen. We know the event's going to be on Saturday, so let's wait until Monday. We want to wait. So we would turn off Saturday and Sunday, and we'd say, okay, 8 a.m., and we would use when, not if. So this is saying, okay, when this window opens up, it will add them into the campaign. And we know that they're coming in on Saturday at 3:55, so they can't enter this campaign yet. It's going to wait until when the window opens on Monday at 8 a.m. So you can use the timing here in the campaign configuration to hold people out before they come in. You could let them in straight away with no window and just do the math on the timing of your first step. Or you can also add a window within each event, right? You can create a custom time window within each event. And again, just remember that when waits until when the window opens, and if says, okay, are we in this window right now? If yes, do the thing. If not, skip to the next one, and then this one would never happen. So a bunch of options, but basically those are the different ways that you could tee up a campaign to start the day after an event that you're sending reminders leading up to.